I can't eat all that now.
Ooh.
I'll just take a bite of it.
Well, that's a.
We'll be sicker than fat dogs.
Oh, there ain't no way this is going to be good. Look at that.
John, come on now.
You sure that ain't dog food?
I made a mess.
Oh, this is going to be bad, Aunt. Dog
That's
says
bad.
dog food.
Oh, dear God. What is that?
Well, where's the wildest place you've seen a snake? I'll tell mine after you. I'll tell
The
yours.
wildest place.
Where have you seen a snake
in-
at? And just
The wildest place
in
for
the
me when I
bathtub.
was a little boy.
The
I was,
bathtub.
welcome everybody to the Appalachia Connection podcast. I'm your producer, co-host, Big John Howard. To the left of me is our host, Big Tony Allen from the Farmhouse Diner. Our other co-host, Don Wolf Montgomery. It has been a time trying to get this up and rolling, but I think we finally figured her out. We got new mics. Hopefully they'll work. Let us know if they sound bad. But we are rocking and rolling. We're happy to bring you a episode number 3 already of the Appalachia Connection podcast.
guys, we got a lot going on tonight. We're going to be talking about old traditions of Appalachian here from our personal experience. We're going to be, we've got some Viennies here. I don't know, I think you can probably see them sitting on the table. So we're going to be doing some different brands of Viennies, taste testing. Of course, like I said, we call them Viennies. Now, some people call them Vienna sausages, but around here we call them Viennies. So we got a lot going on tonight. Also, keep sharing this out. We're going to give away a custom
Custom.
Appalachian Connection
Check out these.
jacket at the end of the show. Custom as in, custom as in what fits some of my friends wouldn't fit me. So we're going to custom size it to order.
There you go.
And we'll be giving away also a $50 Farmhouse Diner gift card. $50 Farmhouse Diner gift card. So you can bring your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your once in a while friend up here to eat dinner for Valentine's Day. Whatever suits you. Don't matter to us. Whatever makes you happy. If you got one, bring them and keep sharing this out. We're going to be doing that at the end of the show tonight.
So we have a website. It's www.appalachiaconnection.com. I'll probably come up with another domain name that's easier just to type in. But if people are having trouble finding it, you'll be able to find everything on the website. It'll link you to the group. It'll link you to the live stream. It'll link you to all the YouTube, TikToks, whatever we got. We'll tell you.
I think it's easier. I think it's easier. This is to get on. We had some problems last week about people trying to get on, and I think this has cleared it up a whole lot. Glad y'all here. We got about 45 people already, and
if you guys could hit the big arrow button, the like button. The more you hit the like button, the more we go up on Facebook Live.
there you go.
It just bumps us up. If you hit the arrow button, it shares with all your friends and family. Let them know what's going on tonight.
We're live from the Farmhouse Diner.
The famous Farmhouse
Best
Diner.
food there is around, and glad y'all tune in. Give a shout out to the main man, my Savior, Lord Jesus Christ. Want to do that for sure.
Amen. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we just hope you have a good time, and just shoot any kind of questions you want at us, and we'll try our best to make something funny out of it.
And as he said, we always want to give a shout out to our Lord and Savior. And listen, we're not sitting here trying to claim to be perfect because God knows we ain't.
We ain't.
None of us are. We're not perfect. We're not looking down on nobody, but we are God-fearing men. So you're going to have some of that in our podcast. And we believe in Jesus Christ as our Savior. And that doesn't mean we're not perfect. So, if there's somebody on there that knows something I did 20 years ago, I may be guilty of drinking a drink or doing something I shouldn't have done. We're not perfect. We're just men, and we have a good time, and We want all of you to tune in and join with us tonight.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We've got our main man, John Sizemore, watching, guys.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
big.
Oh, Big John
Big.
Sizemore.
John, how you doing, John?
Yeah, peace. We'll get to eating some beanies here in a second. We got a couple topics people wanting to hear about. Raising our children in a modern technical world. Now, that's a struggle. It scares the absolute coon dog dookie out of me. I'll be honest with you.
It is.
And because they have so much access to so much stuff and stuff we never dreamed of. And how do you prepare a youngin for what they're going to see, you know? And my approach, my wife and I, we always told her the truth, you know, and we said, listen, very simple to me. Who loves you more, your mother and me or social media? Well, obviously, Dad, you and Mom love me. Well, then we're going to tell you the truth, not social media. We'd be more apt to tell you the truth. Somebody that loves you, your mother that carried you 9 months is going to tell you the truth. So what we tell you is right's right, not social media. It's pretty simple, pretty common sense approach.
They find junk all over the internet. Like, it's just junk. I've been part of the internet for I don't know how long, since dial-up, and it's just junk. It'll ruin
Well,
your
these
whole
phones,
life.
you know, it's not only young kids, it's adults
It's
too.
adults too.
It's just
I'm guilty of it myself.
And I
sometimes,
think I think it's even, you know, we had other topics people want to talk about, like the modern marriage. You know, why the modern marriage sometimes struggles, and it's because you get on Facebook, and Facebook shows you perfection. Now,
Absolute.
I don't care
Get
who
all the
you
filters.
are. I don't care who you're married to. You tell Tony Allen you ain't never had a fight with your wife, an argument, and I don't mean a physical fight. I mean an argument with your wife. You're lying.
Yeah,
you're lying to yourself.
Absolutely,
I mean, no
you're
marriage is perfect.
Well, you
is it?
just got access
It's not perfect.
to so many different people. You just put so many different people together, you know, and I think it's been blamed for, the social media has been blamed for like 4 out of 5 divorces right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Oh,
there's so much access,
Yeah.
you know. In the old days, I mean, you seen your neighbors and you went to town once a month, and now you've got access to the whole world.
Anybody you've ever talked to.
And these
Met on the street.
these things that are influences these children, you know, they're just, I mean, they're astronomical, you know. I mean, like you know, and you say, well,
Bub.
so you have to talk about things with your children that my daddy never had to talk to me about. And if I'd have went to him and asked him about it, he said, you're stupid. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, they're young minds. They're not able to process what they can be, you know, exposed to.
And they get exposed to it earlier and earlier.
Yeah.
Because you just,
Well, I don't know what the answer is. I don't think there is one right now. It's just a problem.
Well, John, from a technical standpoint, you know more than me and Don. Lord have mercy, we can barely get on Facebook without help. But how, you've got 2 small youngins. Does it scare you to death?
Oh, absolutely. It's already scared me to death.
Yeah,
My son's 11, and he has a phone he packs around 24/7, and he can search anything he wants.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean,
You
it's
can
so
lock it down.
You know,
You can lock it down, but I lock his computer down. I ain't locked his phone down yet, and I'm dumb for doing that.
But then all the, you
But
know,
then
of
it's
course
just
you
locked
got.
down, and
You got all these influencers, they call them. Now, now listen, let me go ahead and I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm just a common man with common sense and a poor man that's on here because we enjoy this. This is fun. I ain't trying to be no influencer. I can't influence a dog to be a dog.
Thanks, cousin Kenny.
I'm trying to do something fun. We enjoy getting together and doing this. But the only thing that, people were asking questions about this is tell you, if you're asking for my advice, tell your children the truth. Tell them the truth.
you have to.
Tell them the truth. When my child come to me and said, Dad, I don't believe Santa Claus is real. And I looked me right in the eye and said, is Santa Claus real? Well, she looked me right in the eye and said, Dad, is Santa Claus real?
You got to lie to her.
I just couldn't. I couldn't lie to her. I said, well, listen, the magic of Christmas is real. In other words, the belief and the magic of Christmas. But no, Clara, honey, they ain't no fat man that rolls down chimneys every Christmas Eve.
Got cousin Bud Montgomery watching.
Oh, Uncle Bud.
Bud, he gave me we was talking the other night, and he said something I really liked. He said, we're not hillbillies no more. We're Appalachian Americans.
Appalachian Americans, absolutely, yeah. We like Appalachian American. But
Thanks for watching, Bud.
People have asked questions. Another question, Don, which you'll speak to this more than me. I want to touch what people have asked me to talk about, and I'll tell a story about it myself. The bun, how the women of the olden days wore their hair up in a bun.
Well,
So we're talking about olive oil bun? Or
No, the bun on the back. Granny Clampett.
Granny
bun.
Clampett bun.
and people in, I know
Yeah.
some people in Leslie County, they call it a bond.
A bond, yeah, a
bond.
bond. Yeah.
Now we've got not only women wearing, we got men bun.
Well, the man
Yeah,
bun,
the man
yeah.
bond.
Yeah.
So
I
my
don't know.
memory,
Man bond.
my memory of the bun was my granny Glady Howard. I guess she was born sometime around 1900. She's my great granny. But I went up to her house one time early in the morning, and her hair was down. And I was a little tiny fella. It scared the absolute pea water out of me, because I never seen her hair like that. She always had it up in a bun, but I thought that was magnificent. And come to find out, her hair was down to the ground. She had her hair so long.
That's scary. I've seen that too.
It scared me. It really did. I didn't know, but and another thing people want to hear about, and I'm going to touch on this right quick. Appalachian foods that are pretty much confined to this area, and I think of a couple ones right off the top of my head. A pawpaw. Comment out there if you know what a pawpaw is.
A pawpaw?
Do you know, John?
They come off the pawpaw tree.
Right, yeah.
Well, cousin Michael, back in the day, he didn't know he was allergic to them.
Uh-oh.
And he ate one and almost killed himself.
Well,
I know you can pick them up and put them in your pocket. Picking up pawpaws, putting them in my pocket.
and the walnuts, Don, I was going to ask you, do you remember them processing? Remember those blackened hands, they processing the walnuts?
Well, yeah, I used to sit in the wood yard, and bust them with a hammer and have that hands to be stained for all winter,
Picking up walnuts.
What would stain your hands worse, tobacco or walnut?
Walnut, definitely. And now tobacco, that's another good topic, John. I come from, and Don more so than me now, but I come from an area where I've worked in tobacco. I've rode the setter. I've followed, when you're the little dumb kids, you got to follow the tractor, and plant what they miss. I've done all that. That's something from my era, so I have done that. And
see, I done it when I was real young. I'm a little younger than you.
Another Appalachian delicacy.
Well, beets.
Beets.
And that's the staining made me think of that, because when I was a little boy on Fur Middle Fork, we'd have what called beatings, and it was my mom. She burnt me out on beets. I mean, we had it morning, noon, and night, and for a snack. But anyway, she would put a big hot wash tub of water on a fire when we got ready to pickle the beets, and they had a skin on them and so forth. And she'd boil them in that water, and then had another cold wash tub of water that she'd drop them over in there, and you could just get a hold of them, and just phew, and that skin would just come right off. I got to do that. And I had stained like the hair for like 6 months, beet juice. And
Don,
it'll stain you too.
You raised two beautiful, successful girls. I love them both
Thank
to
you
death.
very much. I did.
Good girls, and of course now you didn't have to face all this modern technology when you raised yours. But what would be your advice on raising children in Appalachia?
Well, if I could give you any good advice, I'd probably be a millionaire. But really, on a serious note, I give credit for getting them in church. I mean, I just believe that.
It is where it is. I mean, you got to.
I just believe that, and I think it's everybody's different, though. You've got kids that just do better than others, but I think if you get them started in church, that one day or other they'll turn out okay. And if you can just keep them off drugs anymore, you've done your job. And that's it's so much pressure on kids.
Yeah.
It's really hard. I don't have any advice other than that, and just
It's a lot hard. Cell phones made it a lot harder.
Oh, it's a nightmare. It's
Snapchat's it's dangerous.
We're sitting around, today I think here at work and looked around, and all four of us or whatever were stuck in looking at our cell phone. Now you don't communicate. And days gone by, you drove to your neighbor's house and you sat on the front porch and of course a custom here in Appalachia is picking music. Brings up which tomorrow night we'll be live down here with live music. John's going to stream that live for us. I want to mention him. He is a guru when it comes to all this technological advanced stuff. And he's got a company called techholler.com. He does a great job. If you guys have any problem whatsoever, give him a shout out, message him on Facebook. He's one of the best. He's a product of the Crane's Nest of Craft Creek, Kentucky.
Eddie Jenkins.
We got to shout out our outdoors person.
Also, of course, we got some sponsors going on here. If you see our big new sweatshirts, that's thanks to Creekside Stitching and More over on Bear Branch, Middle Fork, Magoffin County. Great lady. She'll help you out. She's got dog feed, chicken feed, pig feed,
Worms. Bird.
You bought worms, fishing worms, and worm your dogs.
There you go.
Fishing worms and worm your dog.
Worm peels and fishing worms. I didn't know where you was going with that there.
Yeah.
She got worm peels and fishing worms. So.
Eddie Jenkins says back in the settlers' days, they used the walnut hulls to stain their traps on their trap lines, keep them from rusting and scent free. So there you go.
Yeah.
Good bit of information.
If you're in the trap business.
Good information. People want to know about the music here, so here's my take on that. Of course, like I said, we've got I won't call him older because he's very cool and he gets defensive when you call him old. Oh, yeah. But always in our family, when you get together, you're going to have some picking. I mean, if it's Christmas, you're having picking. If it's Thanksgiving, you're having picking. People want to know about family traditions, so I'll get off on that. Of course, with my family, yesterday was the last day of rabbit season, so I'm pretty emotional about that. We're big houndsmen, always have been. It's been a tradition of us all my life, and even a long time before. We hunt. We hunt. We rabbit hunt. We've got beagles. Absolutely perfect. We love it. To me, they ain't nothing in this world no better than the sound of a pack of hounds coming through the woods. Yeah. So that's my tradition. And music, when you do have a gathering at my family, you're usually arguing about a rabbit race that happened 15 years ago and picking a little music.
Well, I'd say it's across the board in everybody's family. You can go in anybody's house in Eastern Kentucky and find some sort of instrument or 10 of them, and it's a lot of talent here. And it is a tradition, and just great talent here, and everybody does it. Most people do, and something you don't see everywhere. It really is.
Everybody loves it. Everybody can pick a little bit, I can't be honest with you off the top of my head. Most of the people in my family can play something. We got a couple just play the radio, but most of them can play something. I mean, they're pretty good. Most of them are. They
Me, I can tune the radio.
We can put a band together in Prompto. Like I said, tomorrow night we'll be down here live with a band. We'll be going wide open.
I know Anthony D. Carty, he wants us to do a peanut butter taste challenge.
A peanut butter taste
I get choked on that.
Yeah, peanut butter sticks to my tongue now.
I'll tell you a funny story about that.
Let's hear it.
Talking about peanut butter. When I was a little kid, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, my papa and mama on my mommy's side, the shore side, had moved to Ohio State, and they wanted to come back. And we went up there, my dad and I, and my brother. Mom and Pa moved back, and we was in the back end of a 2-ton truck and had all the furniture in there. We was just in there amongst it, And once I heard is like chairs, somebody kicking a chair, and I looked over at my papa, and he was as blue as a fish hook, brother. And he'd got hungry, and he'd got in a peanut butter jar, and he was choked to death. I'm serious, it's a true story. He was choked down now, and kicking the furniture to get our attention. And nobody, you can't dislodge peanut butter, brother.
No, it ain't coming up.
And my dad, he finally just stuck 2 fingers, rammed it down his throat and brought it, and he finally got his breath.
Him sicker than a fat dog, no doubt.
He was gone. He was gone. I'm telling you, he was gone.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, he moved back from Ohio State. He said when we crossed the Ohio River, he looked back and said, "Goodbye, old United States." I never will forget that.
And tidbit of advice for these folks out here, John. These devices have got tools in place that you can limit your children's access to foolishness.
Yeah, so anything like computers, you can put a firewall on it and stuff like that and limit like searches. On Bentley's computer at home, I got this program called Q Studio, and literally it tells me everything he does. If it plays a game, if he searches anything on YouTube, I block websites he's not allowed to go on. You can put the same thing on your phone.
And somebody out there were to have an issue with that, they could reach out to you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, John, do you think on that note, I mean, you know better than me, but do you think that the people on Facebook or any kind of social media, you think they're really doing enough to help out with doing, blocking kids and stuff? I don't think
because it's too easy to fake. Like, if the kid wants on something, they can get on it.
Well, here's the thing about it.
I don't think they're doing enough to prevent that. What do you think?
I mean, it's almost impossible because, unless they're like taking fingerprints or something, identification right at the gate, they don't know who's getting on that.
And here's the thing about it. In my case, a 12-year-old child has got a lot more.
Cody.
a lot more knowledge about. A 12-year-old child's got a lot more knowledge about these technological devices than I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even send an email.
I mean, we put an iPad or something in our kids' hands. Like, well, they're 5 now. Well, my daughter, she's 5 years old, has an iPad.
In the old days, where our parents would have said, "You sit down.
Yeah.
You move again, I'll slap your brains out."
That's,
We hand them a device to try to get them to be quiet. You know, my daddy told me one time, he took me to the barber. My first trip to the barber, I'll never forget it. He told me when we went in, he said, "If you move," he said, "son, you better not move." He said, "If you move, I'll absolutely destroy you." Like that, you know. So we're in there, and he's sitting in there talking to some of his old buddies, and he's reading the newspaper. Well, the old barber cut my ear.
Uh-oh.
And blood's run down my ear, and
You can't holler.
I never spoke. I just sat there, you know, but I knew I could feel it. Now, I don't know if he noticed it going on or what was going on, but yeah. And then all of a sudden, Dad looks up from that, and he said, "Son," he says a little dirty word, you know. He said, "Oh, son, you were bleeding." Well, we get it all straightened up and fixed up, and he gets me out in the truck, and he said, "Why didn't you tell me, son?" And I said, I was about 8 years old. I said, "Dad, you told me not to
You'd been
speak."
threatened.
But anyway, guys.
Yeah, barber, one time he got me real good in the back of the neck. You know how you go to the doctor and you get moles removed? Well, he went ahead and done that for me once. His rip, and it started bleeding like I was bleeding like a stuck hog. He's like, "Oh, I got you mole." I was like, "Oh, well, thanks, I guess." Just,
Well, I've got a challenge for anybody out there that wants to do it. See if y'all who can eat one piece of light bread and nothing to drink in 30 seconds.
just one piece of
One
Piece of light bread, nothing to
Well,
drink
that
in
sounds
30
simple,
seconds.
but let me know how that goes.
Well, I can do that.
We'll get you a piece.
I know I can.
And you just have to eat it all?
Yeah.
I almost inhaled bread, dog.
Okay.
I can do that. I know I can.
Do you have to eat it like this, or can you just...
Eat it any way you want
eat
to.
it.
I can shove it in my mouth and eat it.
Yeah.
I believe with all my heart, and we're going to try it. If you guys keep sharing this out, everything keeps it going good. I believe with all my heart, I can eat a half a dozen pickled eggs at a setting. I believe that.
Well, maybe we'll have a pickled egg eating contest here. Who can eat the most in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
And our food review tonight, guys, like I said earlier, if you can't see, the cans are sitting right up here. We're going to hit some Viennas. We've got Armor, H&H, Prairie, something another, and Libby's. And we're going to hit the Viennas, see if we can tell, kind of see which one's the best. And as far as Appalachia here, food's a big part of our culture, and we ain't afraid to eat anything.
That's right.
South meat, another food comes to mind that would
South
be
meat.
local to the area. You know what it is, John?
I've heard of it.
It's Hog's Head South is the best.
Oh, okay.
And,
Pound of cornbread and South meat, awesome.
and we used to have another tradition, we'd kill hogs like in November on Firm Middle Fork. I live in the head of Paddle Branch, and people come around and help you kill the hogs, and from your best friends on down, according to what you got to take home, a little mess of hog meat, and the one that ended up with a head, they always got mad, because and I'm never coming back to Heppians again.
Now, my granny
But
Audrey, she liked the pig's ear and pig
You
feet.
can get a lot of good stuff
Oh,
off
you
of
get a lot
hog's
of
head.
stuff out of a hog, son. Yeah, they didn't.
So-
The old timers around here, they didn't waste nothing.
It's an art at hog's
They
head.
didn't waste nothing. I've still got a
South.
cousin.
Hog's Head South.
I've got a cousin, Roy Rooster Allen, that renders his own lard. He keeps hogs and kills them every year and renders his lard every year. Prettiest white lard you ever laid your eyes on.
Oh, yeah. Lordy,
I mean,
lordy.
beautiful.
Lordy. Hillbillies cook with a lot of grease.
Yeah, a lot of grease. Everything's but everything's good here. It's funny story. That people, I'm just trying to touch on stuff, John, that people are wanting to hear. I appreciate all the feedback. We love getting it.
We got all kinds of
Words
Like sure, guys.
words that we would use here that wouldn't be common. That wouldn't be common to. I got to get my spit cup now. I'm choking to death.
Yeah, another tradition.
Chewing's another tradition.
I
But
used to
anyway,
smoke.
words that wouldn't be common elsewhere. So a couple that come to my mind, of course, now we're going to know them, us three sitting here, but I want you all out there to comment if they know what they mean. I can use order.
Order, yeah.
Come on, Murray Lee, you'd eat South. It's good.
Order. Do you know what it means, John? If used in a sentence, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know order.
What?
Order.
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 Or go, or we ought not.
Order.
Or you know, if
We ought to go over yonder.
if Don's walking funny one morning, he comes in and I say, "Oh, Don, you might ought to get that looked at, son." You know.
Yeah.
Nary.
And
Yep. Nary.
nary a bit.
Nary bit.
We're nary a bit worried.
Nary.
Yeah.
That's a good
And
one.
well,
Fix
good is a caution. It's a caution.
It's a caution.
Now,
Yeah.
I found out from my friend Don Cecil that might be an actual word.
What?
But I know Henry Clay Sizemore used it, always laughing. I never thought it was a word, but Don Cecil told me that it was actually a word.
Speaking on that, along with that, gum.
Gom, it's a
Gom,
gom.
yeah.
It's a gum. It's a
Yeah.
gum. See,
That means
we know these words, guys, but you guys
That's
out there
a gum.
comment and tell me how many of you know them. Like, here's one, Don, you'll know, and John, maybe you too. I'm talking to my cousin up north the other day. He's like my brother, and we're talking about this fella. We ain't gonna call his name, and I said, me and him don't G.
Yeah. Gee.
Well, so we're on a group messenger, and he said, what? And I said, me and that fella don't G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're on a group messenger, and he calls me. He says, Tony, what are you talking about? Don't G. He said, I don't know what you mean by that. And I said, well, son, it's in terms of working a pair of mules. I said, G and how? I said, me and him don't get along, what I'm trying to tell you. But he had no clue what I was talking about. G, me and him don't G.
Murray Lee Miller says, well, I reckon. That is a good thing.
Yeah.
I reckon's a good one.
I reckon.
Absolutely.
And a G is a right turn, if you all need to know.
Should we go to the internet and find out all the Appalachian words?
No,
No,
we'd be
we
all
know
right.
them all.
See what they think?
Me and Don are native. So when you do these podcasts, like for instance, I watch a podcast with a lady that's from Germany originally, and she
A
speaks
mess. A gom.
in English. When you
Uh-huh.
do these podcasts, you got to say native speakers. She says she's a native German speaker, and she listens to these other speakers, and she can tell whether they're native speakers or not.
Yeah.
We're native Appalachian speakers, so we're going to know these words. But a lot of people don't. It's words that we use that nobody else would use, you know.
Yeah.
And they claim,
Here's one for you. That's plumb pitiful.
they claim
Plum.
it's plumb pitiful.
They
Plumb
claim that's
pitiful.
plumb pitiful. Now, see, we know what that means, or if we
Yeah.
heard it, but there's a lot of people out there don't understand it.
Plum is just over the top, you know.
No, it's pitiful. Yeah, plumb pitiful. Pitiful. Now, you
Yeah.
got pitiful, then you got
That's
plumb
right.
pitiful.
That's an
Plum
extra
pitiful.
stage of pitiful.
Yeah, that's pitiful.
And I've got that.
So there's this
know
software
that-
that's called Dragon Naturally Speaking. And so, you know how we have a twang? They have a setting you have to turn in, and it's called for Appalachian language.
You know, I wish they'd have had that for years, because
Yeah.
we used to have vehicles with this OnStar and this and that on it, and wow, son, I'd try to talk to them, they'd end up calling me. I wouldn't have to call them, son. What is
Wow.
wrong with you?
My daughter Erin, she moved to Louisville, went to work up there in the hospital right out of college, and they nobody could understand her, you know. And she said they got
I hope
wrote on
you're
the
watching, Aaron. You
blackboard,
know I love you.
they called it Aaronology, and every word that she'd put, they put it up there and put a definition back.
Yeah.
Don's
they
daughter,
don't
Aaron, and I are a year apart in school. We went to grade school all the way up through. She's a year ahead of me, but we were really, really close when we were young. She's a good friend
They
of
just
mine.
couldn't figure out what choir
I
was.
love her to death.
Choir.
Choir, yeah.
Yeah.
They say you act in choir. You
Yeah.
know, if I say like, like my daddy, he'd say, I smacked the far out of you, son. Well, somebody from away from here, they wouldn't even know what he was talking about. You know,
Yeah.
right? You know,
I love our slang. You know, I don't think, people
think it's
think that we're
beautiful.
kind of stupid, I guess, but we're not. They're the most intelligent people here in Eastern Kentucky that you'll ever find in the world. And I'm not just saying that because I'm from here. But Don Cecil, he called it brain power. And you wouldn't believe the brain power that we've lost out of Magoffin County. But so that's great. I mean, people doing good, but I like that word that he said.
brain power.
Brain power.
Brain power,
Somebody
well, now-
put one on here that I've not heard.
All right, read it.
Who knows what nason means? It's a middle fork thing.
Nason.
Nason. Nason.
Nason.
Use it in a sentence, because you got three middle fork
Yeah,
boys
three
here, and
middle
we use it in a sentence.
May not be
Ava
exactly
Van
like said.
Dean. Ivana Dean.
Use it in a sentence, tell
Yeah,
us. So
use it in a sentence.
we're three middle fork boys, so we ought to know what that means. See, order?
Steve Howard, have you ever had the big eye?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Yeah.
Lord, yeah. I get up 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes,
Yeah.
son, I'm up at
I've got
12
the
o'clock
runny
just
eye
jerking
right
all
now.
over. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, Don, all right, here's another good one that makes me think of that. Don's eyes over there are running like a sugar fountain. My granny used to say, your
Sugar
nose is
tree.
running like a sugar tree. Yeah.
Yeah. I love our slang and the way people talk here, our accent.
Yeah,
And-
you're
and,
having a connection. Yeah,
And I can tell you one, I can tell you another thing. Even in this county, we got it's a diverse place. People from Middle Fork and people from up the river, we got different slang words. We eat different.
Yeah.
We talk different. You got the towners, you got the Lick Creekers, the Middle Forkers, the up the river bunch. I mean, and we're all different, and I love it. You know, that even in a small county, 11,000 people, that there's that much diversity. You know?
It's amazing.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
diversity.
That's the thing.
And I'll be honest with you, when you go,
But it's all
away-
good.
Listen,
Nussing the baby.
nursing.
Nursing.
If you'd have said nussing, you read it wrong. Nussing, yeah,
No.
Lord, yeah.
She had N-A-S-O-N.
Nussing a calf, yeah,
you
Lord,
gotta-
yeah, I know what that
Nuts
means.
these groceries. while I
Yeah,
drive.
yeah,
Nussing. Yeah, I heard nussing.
yeah,
Nice.
nussing, yeah, awesome.
The A threw me off.
Tell us
Yeah.
thanks for that. Like I said, guys, that's Creekside Stitching. These beautiful sweatshirts that configure to our beautiful bodies were they came from her, and we've got
To my
some
heart.
T-shirts. Actually, from Mountain Gypsy Apparel, our T-shirts came from. We've got a $50 farmhouse gift card to give away tonight, and we also got a custom jacket from Creekside
Oh,
Stitching, made to
Oh.
size order. So if you're a large, small, medium, or a triple X large,
Yeah, bring it over here.
you're welcome to
Yeah,
let
bring
us
it
know,
over.
and we'll
No, I
get it
don't
made
want-
for you if you're a winner. We're going to announce a
gonna
winner
show
at the
it.
end of the podcast. Today down at the farmhouse, everybody's a raving because we had meat and taters.
Listen, it's hot in here. We
Now-
need a fan. I need a fan right on me.
Now, if you go, here's a
Look
plate
at
of meat and taters from the farmhouse
Look
in
at
a
this.
Can I
to-go
get
plate.
this on here? Can you all see this? Let me dump it for you.
No, don't dump the man's dinner.
How's that?
son. He's
Yeah,
hungry.
yeah.
Oh, it's
Let me
great.
see
I
it.
had
That's
some
that's
earlier.
meat and taters and cornbread and corn and green
yeah,
beans,
yummy.
and it's just it's phenomenal.
I did get some meat
Best
and
food.
taters.
And John had some meat and taters. Yeah.
They kept telling me to get the pizza. I was like, no,
I
I want the meat
promise
and
you.
taters.
Patty, I fed you, baby.
I promise you, it's probably just because I'm here, but
Oh, there's onion up
we've
there. I
got
seen it
onion.
earlier.
But,
There's one. All right, now, Don, right
another
quick
thing
before you say
about
that.
onion.
What? I didn't hear it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead, Doc.
well, you got me on the spot now.
Onion.
Oh,
Hey,
onion.
how
A
you
tip
say
on onion.
Onion.
With a U. But listen, tip for the day. If you got a real strong onion, just salt it. It'll sweeten it right up, brother. There you go. Tip for the day.
Somebody get on there and send a voice message if you know how. God knows I wouldn't. What's the proper pronunciation for onion? Because my wife and young and I say, give me one of them onions. And they'll laugh. That ain't an onion. I say, well, what do you call it? Am I saying it wrong?
Well, it ain't a youngin.
It's an onion.
Isn't it weird to say potato?
I say tater.
Yeah, it's tater.
It's a
Saying
tater.
Potato
I
is
mean,
the
Lord.
weirdest
And,
thing in the world to me.
Tomatoes, you know.
Funny story right quick on a tater. Years ago, there was a young lady come to Craft Creek.
Uh-oh.
Sparking one of the boys over there, and one of the
man.
boys, his dad said, "Won't you go out there, said, and get me some of them new taters?" Said so. Lou, he called my mom Lou, you know. So Lou makes new taters and gravy. Well, she goes out to the garden and she's gone to her, and she comes back in and she looks at him dead serious, and she said, "Philip, I've looked on every plane in that garden, and I can't see nary potato out there." And he just went.
Yeah.
That was his look right there. He never said nothing.
What?
But anyway, for those of you out there that don't already know taters, you got to grab them. They grow on the ground. They don't grow on a
Turn
plant.
out, I don't doubt that a bit. Corner.
They ain't out there on a tree.
Michigan
No.
accent.
They're in the ground. They ain't on a plant.
I'm burning up, Tony.
Hey, Don, I'll tell you what it is. You're looking the part, and you know you're looking the part, and you're
Yeah.
sweating it out. That's
Oh,
what it is.
yeah. I'm laid back
Turn that
like a
heat up.
Cadillac seat.
Put that yellow button right behind you there. Turn it. There you go.
Turn that off. Wow. Hey.
Huh?
Got
Yeah,
sweatshirts
sucker
on the
backer.
hottest day of the winter.
Well, like I said, it's all about the brand. We're trying to promote the brand here. Another thing I want to say on
We
that.
do have
for
one
all-
more sponsor if you want to shout
Yeah.
them out.
Yeah,
The
go ahead.
sports. We have a local hunting show, and he's going to give us a hat and a T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Jay Howard with Tracked Outdoors. He wants you to go to his YouTube channel. It's actually on the website now,
my goodness. Sorry about that.
www.appalachiaconnection.com. He's listed as a sponsor. If you have trouble finding his YouTube channel, it'll be on there.
Real good boy, local
Yeah,
boy,
man.
and originally his people's from Middle Fork too.
That's
believe
right.
it or
Fur
not,
Middle Fork.
Far Middle Fork.
Fur, not flour.
See it.
It's fur.
Fur middle fork. See, me and Big John, we're left-hand middle forkers, but Don's a far middle forker.
Far middle fork. Yeah.
No, it's fur.
Fur.
F-E-R.
It's fur. We got to get it right. Fur middle fork. F-E-R. Fur middle fork. Sorry about that. Fur middle fork.
It's actually the right hand fork of the Licking River to be, but it's fur middle fork.
And two more things I want to shout out real quick. I want to let all our local businesses here know we ain't in this to make money. We do this because it's fun. We enjoy it. Yep. We got a lot of people that subscribe to us that have moved away from the area up north, south, wherever they may be, and this is their connection to home. So any of our local businesses, you want to bring a product down here to have us to show it, talk about it. It don't cost you a red cent. Reach out to the Farmhouse Diner webpage or Big John, either one, and we'll get it up here for you. We're not trying to. It out. We'll get you on here if you make peanut butter candy.
There you go.
Yeah.
We like peanut butter candy. Bring it up.
Candy, full candy. We'll take it.
Yeah, any kind of candy, food.
And we'll compare it to my cousin Ronnie's peanut butter candy, which I like better than anything in the world. We do have to have a cornbread
off.
Well, that's another thing. We hear we got all these so-called cornbread makers out here.
I need some cornbread.
And we got one right over here.
We got Gumby Montgomery in the house tonight with us, but these so-called cornbread makers, we'll get Gumby and whoever else. Don't have to bake us a whole pone. Maybe bake us if you got one of them little iron egg frying skillets, bake us that big a pone.
Well, Alan, you've done something. I'm sorry, Tony, but she just put on I left when I was 16 years old, left Eastern Kentucky, and people still ask her where she's from. Now, you've done something most people don't do, Melva, is keep your accent, because most people can be in Ohio State or Michigan the week, they're talking like this right here. How you doing?
They say, can we go to Kentucky?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you doing that. You're one of a kind.
We went to the river today.
So they say I've used a word here that some of you may not be familiar with, pone of cornbread. It's a pone of cornbread. I mean, and it's pone.
Yeah,
I don't know. My intellectual mentor, Don Cecil, asked me just the other night, what does pone mean? Is it in reference to the shape? And I'm going to assume it means a circle. I didn't look it up.
I thought it was a circle.
A solid.
Instead
of an individual one. Because you can make a biscuit pone, which is a solid, not an individual.
Dom's the language guru. He's the language barrier.
As a child, I was personally blessed. I had a grandpa that was born in 1920. He lived through the Great Depression. He was actually born on the same day of the same year as Don's mother.
Absolutely, yeah.
He came into this country from down south. His daddy got in a gum of making whiskey and shot somebody. Uh-huh. And he came up here to Magoffin County and lived in a rock cliff during the Great Depression. And he told me that he had to eat creek minnows when he was a boy to keep from starving to death.
Creek minnows?
He lived in a rock cliff. It was in the 30s during the Great Depression. But anyway, now, he told me he went all through school. All through. He said, you know how I went all through school, Hoss? He called me Hoss. I said, how's that, Pat? And he said, I went in the front door and out the back, all through. But anyway, couldn't read, couldn't write, but I'll tell you what he could do. He could feed you when you was hungry. He'd work a team of mules, raise the prettiest garden you ever looked at. He spotted a honeybee. He followed it to the tree and robbed the honey. A professional squirrel skinner. I mean, he'd skin a squirrel Sunday, boom, 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 like that right there. His name was Henry McDaniel.
Yeah.
So, people ask me all the time, what's more valuable, education or life skills? Now, here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
An education's valuable in some circumstances to make you a lesson. But if you don't know how to feed yourself, you ain't going to stay alive anyway.
You ain't going to live very long. What are you going to do when you can't build a fire?
They won't stay back. They just flop, man. I can't have it.
Angie Howard says, T-Rex, you need to reach out to the original Big John Howard for a special sit-in.
Yeah, we get him on.
We do need to have another guest.
Well, here's something funny for you. So Big John Howard, my cousin in Michigan, nickname's Meat. Then, of course, I got my cousin down here in Kentucky, Big John Howard. So in my phone, and Amanda will verify to this, in my phone, I've got it saved, not Meat Big John. That's you.
Not Meat.
And then I got Meat Big John. But anyway, that's funny, but that's who they're talking about. Have you met him, John?
Yeah,
He's the other Big John.
I think so. It's been a while. Also a fat pond. Yeah, pond. fat pone.
Yeah.
The fat pone. Yeah.
Yeah, fat pone. Yeah. Pone. Yeah. A pone.
Fat pone.
Keep liking and sharing, guys. We got 81 people
Yeah,
on here.
keep it going. But yeah, we're gonna have to have like a cornbread competition. Or
So
something.
let's go ahead and get that out there. If you are a so-called cornbread baker,
Cornbread baker.
bake us a small pone of bread, have it at the farmhouse diner by, by 6 o'clock, and we'll eat it.
Now, I was looking at different kinds of cornbread the other day, and there's some that actually has corn in it. They put all kinds of vegetables in it and everything. I've seen.
Well, I
it.
think they call that Mexican cornbread.
There's all kinds of crazy cornbread.
Yeah, I don't like sweet cornbread, I'll tell you that.
Well, sweet cornbread's
I like
more
sweet
in it.
cornbread.
There you go. Watch dancing the ones wrestling to another.
Well, sweet cornbread more in a sense like a barbecue joint. Or
Yeah, it feels like a barbecue. Yeah, at the barbecue joints.
you like, you get a sweet, but no, that's not cornbread. Cornbread, if cornbread ain't thin, crispy, greasy, and kind of melt in your mouth when you take a bite of it, it ain't no count.
Well, I agree.
That's the facts. I mean, I can't help it.
We gotta have a cornbread competition.
So all you so-called cornbread,
And I've said, I
bakers.
reckon, I should have done that. I'm sorry, Tony. I'm just answering these people on here. Go right ahead. I reckon is a word I use all the time. I reckon
Lord,
so.
yeah, I think we all
I reckon, yeah.
So this is a shout out to our cornbread bakers. Have us
Yeah,
a small
cornbread.
pone of cornbread down here, 6 o'clock Thursday night, this coming Thursday. We'll sample it and we'll give you a shout out.
Bring the cornbread. We're cornbread competition next Thursday.
Can't be here but 6.
We'll have it here before 7. How's that? Or at 7, or bring it at 7 and we'll eat it.
Just make it the night before. It'll be good.
Another, right quick, Don, and then I'll let
He's
you,
like, I ain't making cornbread.
let you take over for a while. I'll talk myself hoarse here.
Yeah.
Milk and bread.
Milk and bread. Yeah.
Milk and bread. The older people in my family, they take the leftover cornbread. Thank you, sir. They'd have milk and bread.
Yeah.
Well, that was a midnight snack, back before
That was like
microwave popcorn and things, at the house. You have to pepper it, though, pretty good.
I never did pepper it.
Some people like it with buttermilk. I hate buttermilk.
I just put it in the milk and go to town on it.
Well, there you go. That's all right, too.
It's like eating cereal or something.
So your consensus, Don, like I said, and I ask you this because I know they're friends of mine. I love them both like my sisters. You raised 2 wonderful, beautiful girls.
Well, thank you again.
Your consensus on raising children is to teach them about Jesus.
Well, I mean,
First.
you just do best you can. And, but I just said, I think, you need to get them in a church atmosphere sometime when they're little. And then it's all just, teach them
being
right,
there.
teach them right for wrong. There you go,
Just
John. You
being
got to
there
be
is a
there.
big thing.
And
Just
that brings
being there.
and that brings another thing to my mind. I heard the other day. They said that now, like only 40% of the people ever have meals at the table anymore, and I think that was very important. We always had at least dinner, supper, I call it. We all got to the table and ate supper together, and me and my kids, and people just don't do that anymore, and I think it's very important.
Very important.
Yeah.
So.
I try to have breakfast with my kids. That's my thing. Is I make breakfast and we all try to go to the kitchen table.
Well, that's a thing of the past, I guess.
And even with us, there's just the 3 of us. We've got a daughter. Of course, she's a teenager now, so she
You
thinks
raised a good daughter. I mean, you can talk.
well, she ain't raised yet, but though
Still got a few-
yours, Don, they're already out there and doing their thing,
Well,
so.
I was fortunate. I mean, I was blessed. I just have to say that.
But we got a daughter, and it's really hard for us to sit down and have a meal at the table. Of course, we run a restaurant, and she helps us down here. But we talk to her. We're very close, the 3 of us. She's the only one we've got, and she talks to us about anything. And Mom tends to take a different approach to Dad, and Dad just shoot her the facts, son.
Yeah.
And sometimes she don't like them. I mean, I can tell by the face. But I said,
Well, I
now, you ask Dad, you're going to get it.
I agree with John. You just got to be there for them,
Gotta
pay
be there
attention, just be available and just listen. And I don't know, you guys, you all know how it is. Bluebird, Vaney, do I remember? Yes, I do.
I remember them also. We tried to find them.
Kentucky Border made blueberry Vaney back in the day, and it was the best. They've sold out now. Kentucky Border's called KB, and let me tell you, it ain't no good. They went from they changed the Bluebird to Redbird, and you stay away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Run from that.
Guys, we also want to throw out here right quick, drop us messages, comments, what you want us to talk about. And listen, we ain't very smart. Or speaking for myself, I don't know Big Wood from Kenlin, but I do my best. And drop us a message. You know,
a lot more people tuning in right now.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Keep hitting those share buttons and like
something
buttons.
else people
I
want
love
me to
your
talk
dad, Murray
about.
Lee Miller. I love Kelly Lee. I mean, I miss him every day. I'm sorry, Tony.
Go ahead.
I just had, she put on there, he ate a glass of milk and bread every night. And, he's just something special. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, something else things people were suggesting we talk about is marriage and how to make a marriage work. Well, I'm going to leave my compadre.
I don't know if you should ask.
I've been divorced twice. Don't ask me.
I'm going to leave my compadres out on this one, but, me and Amanda have been married a long time, and listen, like I told you before, people are getting out here and they see this Facebook and they think everything's a perfect dream, and it ain't.
It's not.
It's not. Me and Amanda have fought our battles, and we liable to fight them today. We disagree. Now, we've made a commitment to each other, and mostly to our child, that we're going to make it work, and that's how. Now, in a world of what goes on, there's been times in our marriage that things have happened. Like, for instance, I get something happens with me involving another female, whatever, and never nothing bad or just whatever. And I'm immediately, I said, Amanda, I ain't dealing with this. You deal with this. So I give her the phone or whatever it is, and I say, this is what's going on now. I ain't trying to hide nothing from you, because she's a detective anyway. I mean, if I did try, she'd catch me.
Yeah.
So I said, I ain't trying to hide nothing for you. You do this, deal with this, and she's always honest with me. Now, do we have a perfect marriage? What, we don't lock horns? No, we're both bulls. Yeah. And my Papa Henry told me 2 bulls can't live in the same pasture. They'd be butting heads all day. We're bulls.
Some people claim they're the woman to blame, but
she's a bull.
Could
I'm
be
a bull.
my fault.
and we have our struggles. But at the end of the day, I think, and I'm going to sum it up pretty simple here, then I'll let you boys give your, not. I don't want your ideas on marriage now. No, but
I'm staying out of this.
But I look in a quality that I would be looking for would be, I'm worried about not who's going to turn me on today.
Yeah.
Who's going to wipe my hind end 20 years from now? That's where I'm at. I'm looking for more for dependability than I am a fun time.
I think you both have to be in it 100%.
If that does that make sense to you? I ain't looking for.
Well, I'll just say this: communication.
Yeah, that's big.
And listen, we disagree.
And trust, and
I think you should date somebody for at least 2 or 3
truthful.
years, probably 2.
Always tell the truth.
We disagree. We'll have days we'll go not speak to each other all day, and we need that, because I'm stubborn as a mule and she is too, and I say not pee on it. I've stubbed up.
Try to treat them. Try to treat your spouse like company.
Yeah, I think you both got to be in it 100%, 100%. Like, it can't be like, 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
No, you got to be in it 100%. And another question was,
and
what
I think
makes
you got to go to church together too, because that's the only way you can make it together, I think.
But church as it,
and it's still hard with that.
I don't know about church as well. I'll leave that alone.
No.
But anyway, somebody asked what makes a good Appalachian husband or wife, and I'll tell you, living in Appalachia is hard.
Well, I'll say this, I think a woman's.
Yeah, in the old days, most definitely.
Cody's wanting to be on here so bad he's talked so much it's muted him.
It's just really hard, especially for a woman, because it's really hard to even know what place they got, because they have to work. It takes 2 to have to work anymore.
That's the problem,
and,
too,
I think. That the traditional, what we think about traditional housewife is
traditional marriage,
keeping everything together at home, and then now they got to work, and it's just really tough. So
I think the man has to help out now a little bit at the house.
Well, I think you should. Yeah,
you have to.
There ain't nothing wrong with it. I mean,
there ain't nothing wrong with it.
We have me and Amanda have agreement about that. Speaking from a marriage, and I take care. Me and Don talk about it all the time, and I probably talk to you about it too, John. I take care of the outside stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
I take care of the mowing and weed eating. I take care of the chickens. I take
Yeah.
care of the dogs. She loves her chickens better than she does me, you know. And I take care of the dogs. I take care of.
94. Let's get 100.
Yeah.
I-
we was at 100 minutes ago. Keep liking and
I wasn't.
sharing it, guys.
I take care of everything like that, and she takes care of the inside. And be honest with you, I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. She does most of the thinking. I do a lot of the chewing and chasing dogs, and she does a lot of the thinking. I can be a man and admit it now.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you something. Tony Allen is a lost man without his wife, and I'm man enough to admit it.
Yeah. Well, I think you should have to date for a while now too. See, I think I jumped in my marriage too quick the first one.
Well,
So I'll just leave it at there. It was like 6 months and we was married.
I don't care to tell it on myself. I brought mine home, moved her in with me.
I ain't
She-
getting into that, Donna Jean.
He's going to kill me, you know, but I brought her home, moved her in with me. My mom said, son, if she's good enough to live with, she's good enough to marry. Now you get over there and marry her.
In my quail. She loves her quails too, Tom.
What we done with this Vaney here?
We're going to try these Viennas one at a time. We're going to pass them around.
Yeah, Lord, I
Yeah,
gotta
here we go.
bring some crackers, Amanda.
We'll get Amanda to bring some crackers out, and she'll pass the Viennas
and a
around.
Sprite, please.
Viennas are a staple of Appalachian cuisine, and we're going to try Viennas and see how they are. John, you like Viennas?
I love Viennas.
Well, you ain't even fair.
I hate them.
I think next week we want to try to get some cornbread down
Now, see,
here.
you bring the pickled stuff. And
And I'm going to do my level best. I'm going to starve myself for 3 days and try to eat 6 pickled eggs. You think I can do it, John?
I say you can do it. I say I can't do it.
I'm going to eat 6 pickled eggs next week, and we're going to let Big John take half a bite of a pickled wiener.
Half a bite.
Well, you can't eat a whole pickled wiener in one bite. That'd be disgusting.
Oh,
Oof.
I didn't know. what you were
That'd be
talking
ugly.
about. Half a bite.
Half a bite of a pickled wiener.
Oh, half of a pickle wiener. Okay.
Yeah.
Since we done Appalachia slang words, let's do real slang words. You want to do real slang
Okay.
words?
Real
today?
slang words.
The
See if we know.
2023 top slang words in their meaning.
Well,
Well, we ain't gonna know what they mean.
I'll be out
Me
on
and
this.
Don
I'll
ain't
try
gonna
it.
know what they mean.
That's the point.
Pickle bologna.
All right, we'll start with the first one. This is the first slang word, top slang word of 2023. Sus. What does sus mean?
As in sustenance.
Sus. S-U-S. Sus.
No idea.
Giving the impression that something is questionable or dishonest, suspicious.
So it's
Suspicious.
short for suspicious. So
Yeah.
it's
Thank
an
you.
abbreviation
Thank you so much.
of suspicious.
This is a good one, and it took me a while to get this one.
That's the big man.
Bet.
Huh?
Bet.
B-E-T?
B-E-T. Bet. Like, you bet.
What? Like make a bet on something?
No.
Here's your wood fork, sir.
Thank you.
I always eat the center Vaney first.
Amanda, bring on the Viennas, honey. We're getting serious here.
So the kids use bet as a word to say yes to, or I agree.
Well, I mean that's kind of like
So
you
bet.
bet. You betcha.
So
you know.
bet, yeah, it's kind of I kind of get that one.
All right, guys, we're gonna try these Viennas. We're gonna start with we've got Libby's first. Pass the Libby's around. We'll open her and we'll take one apiece. Now listen, for any
What kind of
respect,
crackers are these? They're brown. That'll be all right though. Don't worry. Don't worry.
for it, well, they extra baked though.
Okay, extra baked crackers.
Ah,
What are they?
Wheat cracker.
Wheat cracker. All right, we got Libby's, Viennas.
Oh.
Lord.
ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
Okay. Do you all drink the juice first or last? I drink the juice last.
Go.
I do it last.
I don't drink it at all.
Now listen, I'm a warrior. Oh, well, you got your own pour. I'll
Yeah.
pass the can around.
What are we gonna do? See that's which one of these is the best? Libby's on the label.
we eating it with a
There was
cracker or
commercial like that.
And for all you out there in the style of Chubb and Wendy Allen, I'm eating it with my chew in.
That's tough. That's
Okay.
terrible. That's good.
I've had worse.
That's good, Viney.
I've had worse. All right, bring the next one, darling.
Now what do you say about Libby's?
It's okay. It's
This is H&H.
this is H&H.
Not quite as juicy.
Not quite as what?
Juicy.
All right. Let's see.
He's doing this with a chew.
Kurt says he soaks the juice up with crackers afterward. Okay. Kurt McDaniel, my hero, crazy
We'll get
leg.
the next piece
Crazy
out of the
Legs
next one.
McDaniel. What is it?
You want to drink the
Dude.
What do you mean be sick? I
What we
growed
got?
up on craft beer. I've eaten Bainey's all my
What
life.
is this, H&H?
H&H.
Ate them today for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Ate Armor.
That's good.
I'm glad I'm hungry.
Here's another slang word. Since we're doing this, salty. What's that mean?
Oh, I know that one. That means you're mad or like
Yeah.
He's got teenage.
attitude. Attitude.
Ooh, these are a little different.
When you're upset over something little,
Mhm.
you're salty.
Attitude.
You're done. That one. That was a little different.
No, these are, no, I don't know.
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
What are those?
That's like the economy size vein.
Oh,
Wow. It's got gel in it. Ooh.
Huh?
that makes
Jail?
gross. That's going to make me sick.
I quit now, John.
I can't eat all that now.
Ooh.
I'll just take a bite of it.
Well, that's a.
We'll be sicker than fat dogs.
Oh, my God.
Oh, there ain't no way this is going to be good. Look at that.
John, come on now.
You sure that ain't dog food?
I made a mess.
Oh, this is going to be bad, Aunt. Dog
That's
says
bad.
dog food.
Oh, dear God.
Mm.
What is that?
Oh. Oh.
Oh,
You
Oh,
got,
starts taking a race.
you got a bucket?
oh God, man.
Oh. Oh, that's bad.
Oh,
What,
my
it's
God.
like somebody put dish soap in it.
Oh, it tastes like down this working liquid.
It does.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh,
they
my
ain't
God.
clean the ducks with that.
Quitting. I don't eat more of that.
Oh,
Bring the next one. Oh,
Get that off my fork.
Go get me a cat so I
Yeah.
no, it ain't gonna
feed that to Bubbles.
get the taste out of them.
Oh.
Oh, dear Lord and Jesus.
Oh, that's bad.
Give me something quick
Oh.
What?
to get the taste out of my mouth.
They washing the ducks with the oil on them with that stuff. Oh.
What brand,
Oh.
by the way?
Oh, Lord God.
Oh.
I don't know what it is, but I don't want it. Take it back.
That's the stuff that killed Elvis.
Prairie Belt smoked sausage. Oh.
Man, you cheapskate. You bought the cheapest veinies you could find. You're going to kill us.
Oh.
Tell me it's on 4 kinds. I found 4 kinds.
That's good.
All right, what's next?
Oh, yeah. Now, see, these are veinies right here.
Pull me that one off. I lost my fork. I got.
Oh, God. That's,
No, that's a quality vein.
that's armor right there. That's armor vein.
That's a good vein. Well, I can tell you right off, it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Libby's or Armor, both are good.
Mm-hmm.
Libby's or Armor. What do you say?
Anything but the dish Dawn soap.
Armor first, Libby second.
Oh, all the others were good, but that was bad. That was real bad.
That's turned my stomach.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd rather eat the bar ass again.
I've got bubbles in my gut. Oh, God.
I mean, tell you, ooh,
That's bad.
Now, listen, they ain't no baloney that's ever that bad.
No, that's terrible.
And here's big around as a horse.
That's the stuff that killed Elvis.
that's the stuff that killed Elvis for sure. Oh God!
Oh, that's
Well,
bad.
that's been killing people for years, be my
I'd say
guess.
we'll have to go to the creek to use the bathroom.
Yeah, that'll hurt going down and coming out.
Oh my goodness!
I'm gonna use the slang word sheesh. That's what that was. That was sheesh.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Sheesh.
Like shush?
Sheesh.
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 Sheesh. Sheesh. That was bad.
Smoked armor all the way, Rachel.
Amazed. That was amazed or impressed. It was so bad.
Sheesh.
Sheesh.
That's made me sick.
Oh.
I mean, cancel the podcast. I ain't doing no more.
Let's go.
I quit now. I ain't doing no more.
I can't do it no
If I got to go through this, let's turn my stomach.
Bring us good cornbread at least.
For the love of God, bring some cornbread down here.
Yeah, and butter,
Man,
molasses, and
Oh.
cornbread.
Oh, that
I
was
love
gross.
you, my girl Marley.
That was gross.
Thanks for watching.
I can't get it out of my mouth.
Quit now. You turn my stomach. Move on.
Anybody like? I like molasses and butter mixed up with
Oh, yeah.
cornbread and milk. I mean,
Appalachian staple.
I love
Now
it.
that you brought it up, Don, thank you. Molasses.
Yeah, molasses. You
People
know.
around here been making molasses for generations.
Yeah.
You like molasses? My aunt Gloria Toot Allen of Granny Cheesecakes, which are awesome, makes the best
Love you, Marley.
gingerbread I've ever eaten in my life. And I thought my mamaw did, but now my aunt Toot, Gloria, I think I can call you Toot on here, but Gloria, Toot's her nickname, Tootie, but Gloria Allen makes the best gingerbread I've ever eaten in my life.
I'm not much on gingerbread. Ginger gives me heartburn, but like everything else does. But I mean, it's good if you like it. But
And she also makes a mean cheesecake. If you need a cheesecake for Valentine's
Granny
Day,
made cheesecake. Yeah.
reach out to her, Granny made. And
she's the
listen,
best
that's
on
the
all
best you ever
dessert,
eaten in your
any
life.
kind of dessert you want.
And I'll tell you what, if you say her gingerbread ain't good, you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
I know something that's good in Appalachia is the sorghum festival. The
go.
sorghum.
Yeah, well, that's the molasses.
Yeah,
That's what the same
molasses.
thing.
I
Same
just found
thing.
out. I went down to West Liberty to that sorghum festival one time, and excuse me, man, I can't help it. Whoa,
That's bad.
that jumbo-sized dog food right there, it really got me.
Oh.
But anyway, where was I at? West Liberty at the sorghum festival, and I was going to go down and get me a jar of molasses, and I go down there, and this guy, he set me straight real quick. He said, "This is not molasses, sir. This is sorghum." And I said, "Okay." He's from North Carolina, you know, and he said, "This is sorghum," like I insulted him. And I said, "Excuse me, sir, but where's the door?" You know, and I said, "I didn't know there's a difference." And he went on to tell me all about it, and I really don't remember and don't care. But I like old time molasses, you know, made in a cane mill.
Oh, yeah. Well,
We'll
We
have
used
to do
to-
a podcast there one day.
Used to be on
All right.
Fur Middle Fork.
The sorghum
I
festival.
mean, we as kids, we went down there. Jack Reisner's would have you know, he'd make molasses. Kenny Montgomery, and it was a big social event, you know, for the whole community. And we'd go down there, and just the whole process, you know, you could skin that cane back, you know, strip it off, and you had that center. You could eat that, and you could put that in the foam, and it was just great, you know. That's one of my memories as a child.
correct me if I'm wrong, Don, but I remember as a child, Daddy driving us to Fur Middle Fork to maybe the Kenny Montgomery farm, and me watching Shaky David Howard make molasses, or his
yeah.
dad. Does that sound right?
Well, it would have been him,
Yeah, well-
Dave.
Shaky Dave?
Yeah, he's good. Dave can do it all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, there's one thing I've not ate in Kentucky that's kind of famous is poke.
Well, I've
Poke
ate
salad.
Poke
fried
salad.
poke.
Down in
But if it ain't
Louisiana.
made right, it's poison, ain't it?
Poke salad, any.
Yeah.
Gator's
right?
got your granny.
It's poison if it ain't made right.
No,
No,
the berries.
okay.
After it gets
berries,
big enough
poke
where it has
berries,
berries on them, the poke berries can make you sick.
Okay.
But the Indians used it for the Native Americans, my people, they used it as a dye and as decorative, you know, the pokeberry dye. It was purple and dark red. Well, I didn't mean to get off on that, but poke salad, you know, you can deep fry it, you can eat it slimy, cook it, fry it.
But they have a poke
A
salad.
good
festival.
mess of poke is
Mess
hard
of
to
poke.
beat
A mess of poke, yeah.
when it's
A mess of
in
poke.
the
Yeah,
springtime.
that's
So,
another good word. Like, say, you know, for instance, like you said earlier, Don said it a couple times, you go to somebody's house back when I was a child and you visit them, they give you a mess of meat.
Yeah.
So, good story on my Aunt Toot. A few years back, I killed a deer. She said, "Bring me that deer." And I said, "What are you going to do with that deer?" And she said, "I'm going to cut it up, make a mess of meat out of it."
yes, yeah.
Well,
It's
so I
not a
take it up
gum
there.
mess, it's a mess.
And I hang it, and you know, people want to know about Appalachian women. Well, let me tell you about my Aunt Toot. I pull this deer up and I hang it. She said, I'm gonna clean that deer and cut it up. I said, Toot, oh, you gonna do that? Absolutely. She said, I won't waste a crumb on it.
Sorry
She
about
said-
that, guys.
and
You may think that's funny, but it's not.
She cut that deer up, son, and listen, she'd take that deer and cook it down in a crock pot and add some kind of peppercorns or something other to it. Best you did, and put it on a sandwich like
Well,
roast beef sandwich.
that's what's
Good.
so hard about our language, see? A mess can mean two different things.
Oh, no, I'm
At
right,
least,
yeah.
you know. You got a mess of meat, a
Yeah.
mess of pork, and then you got a gum. You just made a mess, you know. So it's all in your intent, you know, how you use it.
Guys, I think it's time for a couple. I've got the message coming through for a couple giveaways here. So, we've got our winners.
Pork is good for
The
arthritis.
$50 farmhouse gift card with the Amanda did the computer generated thing back there, and the $50 farmhouse gift card, it goes to Misty Cheek Bowling.
All
It's
right.
cheekbone. Let us know if you're in the chat.
Congratulations.
And we got a problem here. The jacket goes to Grover Emily Roark. Now, I don't know if it's going to be Grover or Emily? How do we figure that out?
Well, you'll have to let us know, Grover.
Grover, you holler at us and say if you want the jacket or
And
or
by the
Emily.
way,
Let's get those
Grover's from
names
Fur
again.
Middle Fort.
Grover's from Fur Middle Fort.
Yeah.
So let me announce that again, and of
$50.
course we'll post it up here. $50 gift card winner, Misty. I ain't got my glasses.
Misty.
Misty Cheek Bolden.
Oh, Bolden. Okay.
Bolen. And the jacket is Grover Emily Roark. Grover's middle name ain't Emily, is it?
I don't
I think
so.
it's Emily Grover.
Emily Grover. I
Grover's
love fried poke.
Grover's a good
Pokeberry
friend
jelly.
of ours here, so
What about a rhubarb pie?
Somebody
How
said
many have eaten that?
pokeberries
I've
was good
never
for
eaten that.
arthritis.
I've eaten rhubarb pie. Absolutely.
How do you use pokeberries for arthritis? I mean, do you rub it on you, or you drink it, or
Pokeberries for arthritis?
Yeah, I would be interested. I'd never heard that before. Somebody said it's good for arthritis. I'd like to know how it was applied. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're all right. You're doing good.
Dog.
Uh,
Keep it up.
Anybody on here ever eat? Here's an Appalachian staple. You probably have, Don. We growed up together. Elderberry jelly.
Elderberry. I never
Elderberry
did.
jelly.
I've drank some elderberry wine, but
That's
not
be the same.
jelly.
But elderberry jelly is an awesome thing. There's elderberries everywhere. They ain't hard to find, and you can make the best jelly for your biscuits without. Have you eat it, John?
I'm not eating
Elderberry jelly. I wonder if there's anybody out there that still makes elderberry jelly.
I'd say there ain't many people that go blackberry picking anymore.
Well, no, but
Where you get
So-
elderberries from?
what?
Where do you get elderberries from? Is it a tree or a bush?
It's a bush. You know what an elderberry bush is. Quit messing around. But anyway, here's a tidbit of advice from an old fellow that growed up in the snake country. When you're blackberry picking,
Blackberry picking.
put your children on the tailgate of the truck and back it up to the blackberry bush.
Uh-huh.
They don't
Good
ever
idea.
have to get off, and they ain't going to get copperhead bit.
Yeah, don't hang your legs off.
Purdy Sandor, for the love of God. I had a cousin, son, when he was a little boy.
Yeah.
He walked out on the front porch and sat down, hung his leg over, and old copperhead reached up and got him.
Yeah, we got a snake
Oh, yeah,
problem
he's
here
terrible
in
sick.
Eastern
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Yeah, we got a
copperheads
snake
are
problem
bad,
here
ain't
now. And over where we're from, especially where me and John are from, but even where Don's from, Fur Middle Fork, we got a rattlesnake problem.
Oh, yeah.
Rattlesnake?
Yeah, and some parts of Magoffin County ain't got rattlesnakes, but over there they do. So we got a rattlesnake problem over there.
Where's the wildest place you've seen a snake? I'll tell mine after you. I'll tell
The
yours.
wildest place.
Where have you seen a snake
In-
at? And just
The
in
wildest
the-
place
in
for
the
me when I
bathtub.
was a little boy,
The
I was
bathtub.
I was using the outhouse down at my Papa Henry's. He never had no indoor plumbing because he said a man shouldn't mess and eat in the same house. Now, see, that's another word of mess.
yeah.
There you go.
Man ought not mess and eat in the same house. He believed that.
Complete
And
different meaning.
that's not a joke.
Yeah.
That's right.
He believed that. He would not have it. We tried to install him indoor plumbing. He said a man ain't supposed to mess and eat in the same house.
No outhouses in the in-house.
And I've seen a copperhead snake killed in an outhouse.
Well, I seen one in the bathtub, so.
And one more time, I want to shout out here all our local businesses, whoever wants to. If you do, if you make pies, you make candy, you make T-shirts, you make hats, you make quilts. If
Yeah. Anything.
making moonshine ain't legal, but if you make anything legal,
There you go.
bring it up and we will sample it.
Yeah.
So the weirdest place I ever seen a snake was back on Crane's Nest in the old blue house. I just happened to go outside one day, and I looked up, and this snake had crawled up the house and tried to get in through, like, the roof and
Oh,
between
yeah.
the house. It was just
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
there hanging dead. That was the weirdest thing I ever seen when I was growing up.
How many snake hides have you found in your life? Were they shed?
A bunch.
How many snake hides?
And you can tell if it's a poisonous snake by the shed. If it's got a seam in the middle of the shed, it's poisonous. If it's straight across, no seam up the middle, it's non-poisonous.
One more shout out here. I think I've got everybody, ain't we, John? But I want to give a shout out to my beautiful wife. She's pretty as a speckled puppy. And we could not do this without her.
Absolutely.
Absolutely could not do this without her.
That's
If you
right.
guys like this and you like the content, keep viewing, keep watching, keep sharing it out there, and we'll keep bringing it to you. Shoot us a message.
Yeah, we appreciate
about
it.
anything you want to talk about. For you people away from here, if you want to talk about something that went on here, of course, like I said, we got an age range here. We've got of course me, and then Don's a generation ahead of me. Then we got a tech guy here too, guys. So we're trying to, and I ain't no tech guy, but John is. So we're trying to keep it versatile so we can touch every topic in a broad range of topics.
And I think after I've ate that stuff right there, whatever it was, that we would try anything. Whew.
Yeah, we got to do the cornbread competition next week.
Man is back here mean mugging me because I spit half that nasty Vienna in my spit cup, and then I knocked my spit cup over. So she's going to clean that up.
But yeah, there is a group just for Appalachia Connection. If anybody wants to join it, it's on Facebook. The website, www.appalachiaconnection.com. You leave off that in Appalachian, it's Appalachia. You should be able to find us. Tomorrow out. There's a YouTube channel. There's TikTok's going to be posted. Stuff like that.
Tomorrow night we'll be live streaming some backdoor picking down here. You know, we'll have several musicians, I expect, and
Come up, Rachel.
you can
we'll
join in
sing.
live and listen at them pick. They'll bring their instruments down, and we'll sing a little bit. We'll have a mixture of listen. I growed up with my mom listening to bluegrass and Conway, and Dad listening to Three Dog Night. So we're gonna have a broad range of music, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Leonard Skinner. Dad's a big Three Dog Night fan. Son, he'd sing it, "Joy to the world, all the boys and girls." You know, he loved Three Dog Night.
When I was growing up, I had a teenager. I had a 8-track tape box, you know, in the back seat, and I had everything from Ralph Stanley to Led Zeppelin, you know,
Yeah.
across the board. I like all kinds of music.
We was in a museum, my daughter, speaking of that, Don's 8-track tape, it makes me think of, we was in a museum looking, I want to say we were in Graceland looking at Elvis's cars. Well, he had an old Cadillac, and she got to sit in it, and it had a cigarette lighter in it. And, buddy, she'd stir at that. She'd push it. She could not figure out. Finally, she said, "Dad, what is that?" I said, "Honey, it's a cigarette lighter." She said, "In a car?" And I pulled it out and showed her the ashtray. You know, those
Ashtrays everywhere.
Well, it blowed her mind. And another funny story on my Papa
Over
Henry.
the back of the seats, in the back seat.
Papa Henry, of course, like I said, he's born in 1920. Well, I got me a Chevrolet truck in the late 90s, you know, and I stopped. I don't know if I told this or not, but I stopped down to give him a ride in it. I picked him up, and back then, them people, they were so appreciative of a vehicle, they treated it like a child. And you just remember this, but them old people, they thought their vehicle was like one of their youngins. They called it baby, and
Oh, yeah.
son, he
They
packed.
name them. They give them names.
We was driving down the road. This is a brand new truck, still got plastic in the floorboards, you know. So he'd pat that. Oh, he said, "It's a pretty baby, son." Oh, he says she runs the best, and the old man never had a negative thing to say about nothing. No, he'd pat that dashboard. "Yeah, give her a little fuel, son. Give her a little fuel," we'd say, and I'd punch it, you know. "Oh, boy, she's got the horses, don't she?" And he'd pat that dashboard. Well, he smoked, you know. So he lit him up a cigarette. Well, now, you know, some people this day and time would have the audacity to tell that old man to put his cigarette out, but not me. That's my papa. I didn't care what, you know, he wanted to smoke a cigarette. I wasn't going to say nothing to him. He lights this cigarette up, and he's a-smoking it, and the whole time he's a-talking. Son, he'd pat that boy, look at that radio on this baby. He called it baby. And, you know, knowing how they was when they got a car back then, they thought it was, you know, they was king of the world. So we're driving down. I'm watching him, son. He's knocking his ashes in the floorboard.
Yeah.
I never opened my mouth because, unlike some people these days, I had respect for that old man. I wasn't gonna say nothing to him, no matter what he done. So he's smoking his cigarette. He's knocking them ashes. But at the whole time, what's funny about it, he ain't trying to hurt my truck. The whole, "Oh, son, I wished I had me one like her, son." You know, and give her the gas. Boy, she rides the best. And he'd kick back. Well, I look over at him. He just puts that cigarette down the floorboard and stomps it out, you know, cigarette butt. I just keep on going down the road, and I got to thinking, I believe with all my heart that old man hadn't been in a vehicle, like hadn't paid attention so long that he still thought they had metal floorboards. And that's what they used to do, you know. Well, he knocked his cigarette butt out. He burned a little hole in the carpet. And we went on down the road again, and he said, "Take me to Lee's Chicken, bub." He said, "Lord have mercy." He said, "I'm hungry." But anyway,
Chicken. Fried
now,
chicken.
he didn't do that with any animosity or any kind of trying to hurt my truck, and because he was the nicest old man ever lived. But in his mind, well, you remember him well, and Don does too. But in his mind, it had metal floorboards, and he just putting that truck cigarette out the whole. Boy, it's a good one. So, God, I love this baby. He'd say, "Man, she's a good one."
Different generation. You
Different generation, a tough generation of people, buddy.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna tell you something. And you know, the old saying is, if time lasts, and we've all heard that all our life, if time lasts, people like that are going to be missed. I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
So there's going to come a time when you need a beehive, and you need to be able to skin a squirrel and a rabbit. I'll tell you that right now. Well, folks,
Yep. All right, that's it for this.
thank you so much for tuning in. This has been awesome. We've had we've maintained 100 viewers right at about.
Yeah.
That's where we
Good.
want to be. We're tickled pink. if you want us to continue this, please keep sharing, watching. Any topics, discussions. Don is smart about a lot of things. Very, very wise man. Yeah. So he'll. And like I said, I'm gonna give him the
I'm
big.
laid back like a Cadillac seat.
I'm gonna give him the big head because me and John are young parents. If you got any parental questions, if you got any parental questions, he has raised two wonderful young ladies, and he'd be more than glad. Any tech questions, John can help you. I can, maybe tell you how to fry a cheeseburger, about all I know. But anyway, keep tuning in.
Cornbread competition next week. Let's go.
If you are a cornbread maker, reach out to the Farmhouse Diner or Big John any of us here, Don.
Leave us a comment somewhere.
If you got one of them little egg frying orange skillets, make us a little small pone, because I'm going to try to eat 6 pickled eggs, and I don't know how much cornbread I eat on top of that. But make us a little small pone and bring it down, and we'll try it.
So next week we got pickled eggs and cornbread.
Well, I'm going to eat. Can you eat a whole pickled bologna if I can eat 6 pickled eggs?
I don't know. I'll try. I can't promise I ain't going to puke on them.
Well, that's all right. I mean, that's what gets views. People love that.
Give me a bucket at least.
Well, yeah.
But anyway, and if you, like I said, any of our small businesses want to reach out to us, we'll be more than glad to display your product up here.
Ian's done a great job. Yeah, that's the word too.
More than glad to display your product up here, advertise for you. We got Tech Holler, which is Big John. Fabulous tech guy. He can absolutely do anything with a computer. He's pretty good on phones, but he's more computer generated. Oh, yeah. We got Don Wolf Montgomery. He'll give you all the wisdom and advice in the world. And he never raises his voice.
I don't think I've ever heard.
He never raises his voice. Then, of course, come up to the Farmhouse Diner. You're more than welcome to come up, hang out with us. Drink a cup of coffee. We've got we got a group here that hangs out up here a lot, and we really love them. We're all friends and family, and you're more than welcome to come up. You don't have to eat. Come up, drink a cup of coffee, hang out with us.
You gotta keep it real.
We've got, of course, our friend Jay and his hunting program. Tracked Outdoors. Look him up on YouTube. Give him a shout out. We got Creekside Stitching and More, pig feed, chicken feed. Make you a shirt, sell you a pocket knife, about anything you want over there. Worm your dogs, whatever.
So 7 o'clock.
And let's not forget the Farmhouse Diner, the greatest place to eat ever. I mean, you can get anything you want here. I promise you can. It's all great.
And you guys don't know how much we enjoy this. That's why.
We don't do it for the money. We just
we ain't doing this. We ain't doing this for money. We're doing it because we enjoy it.
Have a few laughs and
to be able to hold 100 live viewers like that is just.
We appreciate y'all so much. I promise.
We definitely plan on having, guest speakers.
Give us some ideas.
7 o'clock Thursday again.
What you'd like
7 o'clock every Thursday. The only time it would change if somebody had a conflict of interest, but now I don't think we will.
The interest of conflict.
And like I said, to maintain these viewers like we have, just astronomical.
It's been awesome.
We just appreciate it.
It's great. Well, this has been probably the best viewer maintain we've done yet, I think.
Yeah, it's been good.
And if somebody wants to bring a product down here for a giveaway, we'll be more than glad to give it away. We want to help the community, and please message us with ideas of what you want to hear about, talk about. Other than that, we'll probably see you about 7 o'clock next week.
And thanks to our live audience we got here tonight.
Tomorrow night, Farmhouse Diner, live music. We'll be streaming it out here for our folks away from here. I think John's going to come down and stream
it.
Thank God, because they ain't away in Hades.
They put me on the spot last week. They threw the phone in my face, said, you got 50 viewers, you got to do something.
We're going to put a mic in your face tomorrow, Don.
And so come down and help us.
Thanks tonight for our live audience, like Don said too. We've had a pretty good audience.
Family and friends here, we just love them.
We love them all, and this has been astronomical. I'd cry if it wasn't for the pure humiliation.
That's a big word, astronomical. We try not to use too many big words.
Live on Facebook tomorrow night.
That's right.
Live on Facebook tomorrow night, starting about 6 o'clock. It's not going to be anything professional. We're just going to pick and grin, they call it.
Come sit around with us.
And you're more than welcome. Yeah, I got to say what the boss says. You're more than welcome to come down here and sit around with us, get a cup of coffee, get an ice water. That's all free.
Coffee's free.
Coffee and ice water's free. Come sit around with us, laugh with us, tell stories. If you would like to be a guest on the podcast and you got some informative sustenance, is that the correct word, babe?
That's too big a word now.
Huh?
We got to keep it Appalachia here.
Don, you don't know what it does to her when I say them big words.
A mess of stuff that you got to say.
Puts her in a marital way when I say them big words. You guys have a good night. God bless you.
Thank y'all, Pete.
We'll leave the light on in the kitchen for you, one thing for sure.